Hello, everyone, and welcome to All the Things with Julie Miller Davis, the show where we are all about productivity and doing the things that only you can do in order to grow your business intentionally and strategically. And that includes not doing all the things. And what we have found is that so many of you are trying to do everything that you're not focusing on or have the space to prioritize so that you can actually implement the things that you know will grow your business. So this show, All the Things with Julie Miller Davis, is all about bringing in experts in other areas of business that you might find helpful to hear from, and also who, I don't know, you might hire one day. So these people do some of those things so that you don't have to do all the things. Today, I'm so excited to bring in Shawndel Spader, CEO and founder of the Spader Group. She founded the Spader Group because she saw a great opportunity to build her business model, helping other businesses succeed by providing services that would save them overhead costs. She saw a need for business owners to have affordable and reliable business solutions to allow them to achieve maximum success. Her mission is to deliver a service that will allow business owners to work on their business rather than in their business. Whoo! I'm so excited to have her. I just can't wait for you guys to meet her. Shawndel excels at all areas related to office management. Throughout her career, she's developed her skills as well as gained new ones. She's a financial wizard when it comes to accounting related tasks such as bookkeeping, accounts receivable, payables, payroll, debt collections, and sales tax filing, monthly annual reporting. She's also highly skilled in planning, scheduling office processes as an organization, and she offers administrative and executive support. She loves that the work at the Spader Group. She loves the work at the Spader Group because it allows her to support business owners in their businesses while maintaining her own healthy work-life balance. She and her family are active outdoors and spend a lot of time at their cabin, swimming, skiing, kayaking, hiking, fishing, four-wheeling, snowmobiling, and snowboarding. She and I have a lot in common that way. Please help me welcome into the studio today, Shawndel Spader. Hi, Shawndel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's always so good to see your face. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah. So I said a lot in your introduction. What I did not say is that you've been a partner in my Unstuck event for a couple of different years. You're a phenomenal presenter. So I'm really excited for them to hear from you today. And Shawndel is one of our trusted referral partners. Like, we send people to her, and she is definitely a woman that is in my circle of trusted people. So Shawndel, is there anything that I left out in the introduction that you wish to share with us?
Oh my goodness. No, I think you covered it all. I'm just really excited to be here. I always love the opportunity to sit down and chat with you. And when we get to have your community listen in, it's even more fun. So I'm excited.
Wow. So tell us, I said a lot about what you do in your business, but tell us a little bit more, like, how did you come to see this need, and that you like, where did you, you jumped in initially with bookkeeping and it's expanded from there?
Yeah. Um, Funny story. I grew up in a very long line of entrepreneurs. I don't think ever being a long-term employee was ever in my DNA. When I really think back, like, there's just so many facets of my life that involve this entrepreneurship. I was the little girl who did not play school or house. We always played business. I was always the boss. My friends really didn't love that part, but we made the best of it. Early leadership skills, right?
Yes.
So ultimately, when it came time to decide what I wanted to do, business that had always intrigued me. It was something that I had a natural interest in, the finances, the money, the accounting pieces of it. I think you either run from it or you run towards it. And I happened to be one that ran towards it.
Yeah.
I had my own desk in my mom's office in the family owned business, right? Like, I was 3 and I had a calculator and I thought I was super cool. So it was just kind of always there, and naturally was a desire and an interest that I had that I just from high school when you could choose your electives to college for, going to college for business management and accounting. And then I had one employer where I had come in one day and in tears, of course, because I loved what I did. I was the office manager there. And I came in and said, I need to give you my notice. I need to be done. And he was like, well, that's really unfortunate, but you're actually not done. You're going to do this from home. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, I can't afford to lose you. So you're just going to do this from home after hours. We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. And that was really my first, that was before people worked from home. It was before it was easy to do so. And I really do credit that to when I figured out how to do that and we did it together, it was like, well, I can do this again and again and again. And it really helped me shape the vision for how we were going to support business owners, not just one, but many across, the internet.
Absolutely.
It's really fun.
It's incredible. How many people do you have on your team now? Because you have people with different areas of expertise doing different things for companies. So
yeah, we are currently a team of 12, and shameless plug, hiring. So we are definitely looking to add to our bookkeeping bookkeeping company, but bookkeeping team. It's funny because I get a question all the time. I'm like, you always seem to be hiring. What's going on? And honestly, we're hiring because we're growing.
You're growing.
Yeah, we really are. And we've spent the last couple of years really looking inward and taking a look at our own infrastructure and figuring out how can we show up better for our clients? How can we be a better unit, better resource, just a better support system really for clients and, at all these different levels of their business. So
yeah. Absolutely. And what I love is that about Shawndel, and what you all should know is that she hires the right people and people stay with her that are working for her. I mean, you have people, you and I have been intermingled for probably 3 or 4 years, 4 years. And you still have a lot of the same staff that you've had the whole time. And so that speaks volumes about you, about your company, about how you hire and how you serve. I think it's just something that people really need to know. And I don't think we always give ourselves enough credit for that because there's a lot of companies out there, Shawndel, that, as you know, it's like a revolving door.
Yeah.
And so to have the people that have that sense of community, that sense of that same heart that you have to serve the way that you guys serve and to want to stay with you, and they fall in love with your clients just like you do. So it's very, very awesome.
I'm very proud of our team. Our team, it really, obviously I'm biased, but they really are incredible. When you think about hiring a team and, part of that delegation piece is so scary because it's like, oh, somebody's not going to do it as well as I do, or, whatever that is. Like, I can't say that. I just can't. Like, my team is incredible and they jump in and they hit the ground running and they do care as much as I do, which is really fantastic.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So tell me, talk to us about because we're all about productivity, and a lot of people, when they start with me, and start interacting with JMD Productivity, it's all about time, right? So, although it's a very small piece of the pie of what I end up doing with people, but it's still someplace that people struggle a lot. So talk to us about your habits around time.
So we have, myself, I don't know if I should speak for my team yet, but myself, when we were working with you, Julie, we learned a lot of different things, the calendar blocking, the calendar chunking, the Ohio. I think Ohio comes up, if not daily, at least weekly in our conversations or, one-on-one, whatever it might be, of just making sure that we're finding the things that need to, are the most important. When I'm looking at our time or my time in a day, it's okay. I'm at my desk from this time to this time. These are my tasks. What's realistic? There's days, I'll admit, I'm still a little overambitious. But ultimately that resetting, that opportunity to reset and really say, okay, I'm not on track. I need to get there. Here's my top 3. Here's what I absolutely need to touch today. And really being able to identify, again, the important and must do. I'm probably not using the right terms, but those things that just aren't negotiable, and really leading with those. I do best in my day and my week when I'm leading with the things that are not negotiable, getting those done and out of the way, those boxes checked, and then moving on to the other things that are nice to get to, or, my team will tell you that I'm not the best at my own delegation. I can stand on the stage and be like, hey, you need to delegate for all of these reasons, right? And then I have like my own hesitations, which is silly because, again, I just got done saying, like, my team can do it better than I can. They really, really can, right?
Yeah.
So just really fully embracing that piece. But it's that reset. I think my biggest tool is that reset, catching myself when I'm not on task or not on point and where I need to be for the day or for the week, and really hitting that reset button.
Yeah. I remember when you were taking my Prioritize the Power class, and those two things, I remember specifically that conversation with you about the reset and about Ohio, which, for those of you who haven't taken my class, Ohio means only handle it once. And I think Shawndel incorporated that 4 years ago, and you've stayed pretty steady with it. Yeah. So it can make a big difference if you can only handle stuff once, instead of moving it from one pile to another pile to another pile. And you're like, it's like, God, just get that sticky note gone, instead of continuously moving it, looking for it, and just do the things on there. And also, I think it's really important what you said. It's so important that we do those big things first, that are going to move the business forward, that are non-negotiable, as far as not only the clients that we're serving, but also what are we doing for our own businesses. And then do those, what you didn't say, but I think you were going towards, like, do those things that only take a second or whatever. Like, I always talk about doing them when you need a nap, because they don't take any brain power. It's like, oh, now I can check off these 6 things, because it's just, they all take like 2 minutes each to do.
And that's where I used to get stuck, right? Is I would get stuck in that, oh, these are only take me a few minutes to do. And then you pile on a bunch of them. And that's great that I have a lot of check marks. Like, yay, accomplished, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I accomplished a bunch of stuff that didn't really matter. And then that doesn't feel good at the end of the day. And then tomorrow's even worse, right? Or maybe not worse, but definitely more full in a fires seem to be happening. So really shifting that piece, it's been a game changer in just how I show up.
I love it. Talk to us about a roadblock that you've hit in your business and how you solved it, how you got through it, how you solved it.
That's a good one. So 2021 was a really big learning year for us. You talk about, I've got a team and they stay, and that is absolutely true. However, in 2021, we really had to redesign how we were hiring people and how we were asking questions, because what we had done previously was not gaining us the same results. And mostly because there was this influx of people that came in and said, I can absolutely work from home. I've been doing it for a year. I've been doing it for, however long. When the world shut down, I was able to move into working from home, and now I've got this mastered, which is fantastic. But the difference for us of working from home was when they left their corporate job, or their corporate job sent them to work from home, they had a structure, they had a system, they knew what the job was. And then to start over and bring them in with us, where we really do have to formulate our own structure, and every client has different needs. And it's just a different way of working with people. When you think of bookkeeping teams or a bookkeeper, they're often working with one company because they work inside that one company, and then shifting to us, you're working with 10 or 15 and trying to manage that. Yeah. So we solved it by really identifying what were our hurdles, what were the hard lessons we were learning. And then, how could we improve our conversation? How could we make sure that we were super clear? And that's really where it started. It wasn't the fault of anyone else on the other end. It was really us being extremely clear about I know you've worked from home. However, we work from home differently, and this is what it is, and really trying to paint that picture. So it was a lot of collaboration between myself and my management team of really identifying, again, those hard lessons. If somebody came on and then they left, why did they leave? What were the struggles? What were the conversations we were having? Years ago, I had learned, kind of a process of, oh, now I'm going to lose it. Like that plan, do, review. And it's yours.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Years ago, 4 years ago, but that plan, do, review, right? And with plan, do, review, it was like, okay, we know what we need and want. We did it. We hired people. Now we need to review it. And it takes us a while to hire now, but when we do hire, we have the right people in the seats, which is really, really great.
Yeah.
So it's not like a concrete, this is what I did in this little box and it solved it. But I will say we've been so much stronger now over the last year plus.
Absolutely. Because it's so easy to keep repeating our behavior and expecting a different result and not really assessing it. And so I love that step back and let's really dig in and figure out what we need to do differently. What did we do before that worked? And somehow now something has fallen through the cracks. And so, I read that just the whole hiring thing reminds me of an interview that I watched on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah and the former CEO of LinkedIn. And he talked about hiring slow and firing fast. And so, or not even necessarily firing, like maybe they just need to be moved to a different position. Maybe they're not where their strengths lie. And that just makes everybody feel awful about the job being done.
Right.
So, yeah. So talk to us, and I said it a little bit a lot of it in your intro actually, but as you know, a lot of what people come to me for as well is this whole, ability to engage in the life that they want to engage in, not just their business. So I recreate heavily. So right now it's tennis and golf, and then in the winter I still play tennis in the winter, and then skiing and hiking and all this stuff that I love to do. And you love to be outdoors as well. And you mentioned a whole lot of things, but what really refuels you? What really recharges you?
It's going to be two things because they're very different in the seasons for those of us that have all 4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
100% it's snowmobiling. My mom actually just yesterday was like, you just need to move to Alaska. And I was like, well, that's a little drastic. But it's snowmobiling and truly being on the lake, like just being able to be on the lake. We get asked all the time about, well, doesn't, being at the cabin impact the kids with sports or this, that, and the other? And it does, right? But really that rejuvenation is being able to have a space with them and having it be just that place that everybody wants to go, wants to hang out, wants to build that, internal community, whether it's family or friends or, the snowmobiling is like my solitude. I get to put my helmet on and just ride. And then, all summer long, it's really just that collaboration at the cabin.
At the cabin. Yeah. And there's so much healing with water and all of that too. And I love that you love the winter sports as well as the summer. And so do I, because not everyone loves winter, but and you have a lot more winter than I have, but
well, when I was riding on epic trails on March 18th, when we were on trail 18, I had to get out. I jumped into the snowbank next to the sign, literally up to my waist, and was able to hold up a 3 next to the 18 on 318.
Oh my gosh.
Best picture ever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. So what are you reading or listening to in the professional development, self-development arena right now? What are you up to?
Do what matters most.
Do what matters most. Who wrote that?
So this is Rob and Steve Schallenberger. So I literally just cracked the seal on it yesterday. So I'm not super far into it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it was really, so it's lead with a vision, manage with a plan, prioritize your time. And you and I have been, running around together here for the last 4 years. I love soaking up your knowledge, and I love the refreshers that some of this stuff goes through. It's something that I'm always working on, continuing to be better at. There's just nuggets. Like, I could probably go through an entire session of Ohio with you again, even though I think I'm doing
Yeah.
it, right? And I'm doing it definitely better than I used to, but you could probably teach me the exact same thing again, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm totally hearing this differently, right? So
our businesses are always evolving, and so are we. Our families are in different places. Like all things are always changing, and so people who stay with me and keep taking my programs or to keep taking my event or whatever, it's you're ready to hear different things at different times, or you're like, oh my gosh, this is how I can change how I use that or whatever.
yeah.
So yeah.
For being an attendee the last 3 years, or I guess attending the prior to, and well, no, I spoke, I guess, the last two just virtually, and then being in the room this last year.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was. And I don't know. I love being a forever learner. And having that piece where things are reconfirmed, reimagined, just re-identified as priorities even. I know I walked away in October and crushed November and December from a productivity level because of hearing things again, hearing them differently, hearing the new things, and just being open to really that humility of what am I not doing well, and not to beat myself up by any means, but like, what am I not doing well? Where can I improve? And
what am I not, or what am I not seeing?
Yes.
Right? It's like, because we're doing, and it doesn't mean we're not growing, but sometimes we're not growing as fast as we might want to, or we are stuck, and it's like you can't see it because you're so in it.
Right.
Yeah.
We run a lot of when we're working with clients, or even in that first initial phone call that I'm having with somebody in a discovery session, where we're diving in and they're too close to see it, and then it's like, I'll ask a question and they're like, oh my gosh, Shawndel, how have I not seen that, or how have I not thought of that yet? And I'm like, you totally did, you just ignored it.
Yeah. I'm always like, listen, what I do is definitely not rocket science, but I've been doing it so long, I can definitely see things and ask questions where like, why did that seem so hard for me? I'm like, because you're in it.
Yep.
So yeah, Shawndel, we are going to wrap up here. And what I am reading, or what I'm bringing back, is The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's a phenomenal book. He is the founder of Keller Williams. And this, when I first started my business, was very much a Bible for me, very much an awesome resource. And so I'm kind of bringing back my old school 8 years ago, The One Thing. It never goes dry. You can read it again and again. And just like Shawndel says, you get something different, something new out of what you read, because also we skim business books a lot. Like, we're trying to pull out what we want. We don't want to, spend a ton of time with them. They're not super entertaining all the time, but we can grab things out of them.
Well, and so I think that was one of the very first book recommendations you had ever given me. And I read it back then. And then coming home from the Unstuck event in October, I had a 14-hour drive, right? I popped that in and listened to that, for the few hours that it was drive. It was great.
So great.
Yeah.
So great. So we're wondering what you have coming up in your business, because you've been doing some webinars and some different things. I've been watching you. What do you have coming up that you want to highlight, or is there something that you want to give away to our watchers and listeners today?
Both. So thank you for asking. Coming up in July, we have our quarterly Q&A, and that Q&A in July is all about going from really being an employee in your business to really wearing that CEO hat. So different tips and tricks and ideas and ways to do that. So that's coming up on July 19th. And then between now and then, I always have my complimentary clarity session, clarity call.
Yes.
Clarity analysis call. There we go. I'm like, what is the name of it? But we have that available for you where you can get on my calendar. I promise you, it is a zero strings attached. It is come in, ask your questions. You get to come in and pick my brain. And if our conversation needs additional time, we talk about that and we figure out, what does that really look like? What are the burning questions that you really need the most help with? And then, really talking through how does that move you forward in your business? Is it talking about your goals? Is it, are you aligned today? Is it something very specific to, my P&L says this and I don't understand it. I don't have a P&L, Shawndel. I don't know where to start.
Shawndel? I'm just kidding. I know what a P&L is, you guys.
Right? But honestly, whether you are currently living with your receipts in a shoebox and thinking about a spreadsheet to, I have QuickBooks, but I don't fully understand what I'm looking at, and anything in between, if you have questions, I just want to be a resource. Like that's really what it's all about. Yeah. If I can share some knowledge and help you have more confidence in your finances in the backside of your business, I want to play in that space with you.
Fantastic. So we are going to put that clarity call in the link in the comments. I do not have a link for your quarterly Q&A. So where do they find that?
Yeah, so they can go to spadergroup.com
okay.
/QAS.
Okay, awesome. Susie, my assistant who's on here, will be putting all of that in the chat for you. So we really appreciate you being here. Shawndel, is there anything else that you want to say before you head out today?
No, I think I thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Like that's really where I wanted to go. So I said no, and I was like, that wasn't right. So just thank you for letting me, be a part of your day, your audience's day. And I'm wishing everybody a great week. And again, get clarity on those questions that you have when it comes to your back office, the finances, all of that piece. And I'm happy to be a resource.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I will see you soon. Thank you so much for being here and have a great day.
You too, Julie. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Shawndel. Bye. That was Shawndel Spader of the Spader Group. We're so happy and lucky to have had her today. I hope you took away some nuggets and she's got you thinking about some things that you could take off your plate. I have some things coming up in JMD Productivity. Our next All the Things with Julie Miller Davis is with Chris Gosnell at Chris Gosnell Photography and Video, and that's on Monday, June 12th. And we also have next Wednesday, May 17th, our intensive 90 minutes with me. And it is a Zoom class, so you'll all be with me and live and in person at Stop Procrastinating Now from noon to 1:30 next Wednesday. If you go on my website, juliemillerdavis.com, it's at the very top banner. You've got a way to register for Stop Procrastinating Now. And we will drop the link to make it super easy for you as well. But really, you just have to go to juliemillerdavis.com and it's right there at the top. What have you been meaning to work on, wanting to get to, needing to implement, wanting to get rid of, and you haven't been able to figure out a way around it or a way to get to it or a way to get started on it? That is what this course is about. 90 minutes, stop procrastinating now. And I'm going to help you stop procrastinating now and I'm going to give you my simple system to get you going on those big things that you've been wanting to get to. And we have another Unstuck program coming up in June. If you're interested in investigating whether that's a good fit for you, please schedule a call with me. And our Unstuck event, October 25, 26, 27, tickets go on sale soon. And we will see you next month. Thanks everyone for tuning in.